All right, welcome back, everyone. We do have a lot of things to cover on this agenda.
Yeah.
Including Zach Wheeler, because that is probably the most
Pressing and the most
pressing factor of this episode. John Mechie, Eagles acquire wide receiver from the Texans, and defense is actually looking really good this past preseason game. So, I mean, let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it with Zach Wheeler. Yep.
So we get the news on what, Saturday it was?
We got the news on, I think it was Sunday, that he had his blood clot removed. It was Monday.
Okay, it was Monday.
Yeah.
When did we get the initial news that he had the blood clot?
The IL was on Saturday.
Saturday, that's what I thought.
The blood clot was on Saturday, and on Monday they successfully removed the blood clot. But there's still no timetable on when Wheeler's actually going to return. So,
I mean, we're expecting to hear some type of update sometime soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But the procedure that he did have seems like it can be minimally invasive. I actually wrote down what it is here. So what he had was something called thrombolysis procedure. A thrombolysis procedure. And so basically, if you don't know what that is, they cut open, basically part of your skin where the blood clot actually is. That releases medication that breaks down the clot. So they don't actually have to go in and take anything out necessarily. So because of that, I'm not entirely sure if that means that he's going to have a quicker timetable for recovery or if it's going to be, anything longer than what it should be. There's not really many cases of people in professional sports dealing with blood clots and then having to come back from them. So this
is a very, very concerning.
Yeah.
Especially because it's on the throwing shoulder too.
Exactly. And especially because, he's thrown a lot of innings over his career. Once you get blood clots, I guess there's always the possibility they can come back, because I don't really know if they know what caused the blood clot in the first place, but there's always the, possibility that maybe next year down the line or in a couple of months that it could always come back. It could flare up.
And I mean, he was giving up. I mean, he wasn't pitching bad prior to the blood clot, but
he must have had some type of discomfort that he went to the team after that last start.
I guess so, yeah.
We need to go get this looked at because there's something that isn't right here. It's been over a month now.
Yeah, because he was. I mean, he wasn't the vintage Zach Wheeler in his last couple of starts, but he was productive, just not what we
have come to expect.
Yeah, what we haven't come to expect, and obviously you got Aaron Nola coming back Sunday.
Yeah,
it seems like the right fit, but as it turns out, it was definitely not the right fit.
Well, I mean, he had a good first two innings, and then
the first two innings were good, and then exactly what you said, it fell off the rails. I mean, he could not seem to record an out, giving up hits to these nobodies.
Well, I mean, it's not like the Nationals have an exactly potent lineup, I would say.
Really not, besides maybe Abrams and Wood. It's basically just a bunch of nobodies out there like Dalen Lyle.
Yeah. Although you do have... Who was the other guy that had a good series?
And then you're throwing out Paul DeYoung and
Paul DeYoung,
Jacob Young. Nola should be mowing them down. And I get it's his first start back, but still.
Well, plus it's the first time he's pitched in how many months? 4 now? So.
Yeah, I mean, excluding rehab.
Right. I mean, you do expect a little bit of rust. It would have been nice to see him get through more than just 2 1/3. I'm not as concerned with the amount of runs that he gave up, just because I feel like that's typical Aaron Nola. He'll have starts where he gives up 6, 7 runs, but then he'll also have other starts where he goes 8 innings and allows only 2 hits.
Yeah, it's just it's inconsistency.
Right.
So, I mean,
I don't want to be too overreactive to it. It's just it would have been nicer to see him get more than 2 2 innings of 1 out before the collapse.
I mean, even on like Sunday's game, even after he gave up those runs, they were able to, get them runs right back. But
Yeah, they were.
even still, they almost blew that damn game.
Yeah, I mean, they ended up,
They had a 11-6 lead in the 9th inning, and then you got Max Lazar coming in and giving up those 3 runs. So it's like, oh boy.
Now, he got actually sent down.
He got sent down, yeah.
game.
He's been having a rough stretch recently, but
I have a feeling he's probably going to get called back.
that's what I'm thinking too, yeah.
I feel like they maybe just sent him down because he wasn't going to be available for the next 2 to 3 games, and they wanted to have another bullpen arm that they could use. So they called up
Nolan Hoffman?
Yeah, Nolan Hoffman.
Yeah, not Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say Jeff Hoffman, and I was like, hang on, it's not Jeff Hoffman. But they call up Nolan Hoffman, who makes his MLB debut. Didn't pitch awful, didn't pitch great. I mean, he got the 3 outs that you need.
He pitching in a blowout.
Yeah. But overall, the road stand was a little...
It was very rocky.
Yeah.
That series against the Nationals was very bad. Even though they split.
The Nationals is not a team you should be splitting a series with.
Yeah, especially this far into the season when you have to be winning these games.
Yeah. And
I mean, the first game, the offense doesn't do shit. The second game, the offense does something, and then you almost you get that scare with Duran getting the comeback off his foot, but thankfully he was obviously fine. Third game, you get fucking shut out. That was just so pathetic. And then Sunday, you almost blow it. You almost blow it twice. You have a 6-run lead, if a 5-run lead, you blow it, and then you get.
Oh, and by the way, that shutout, that dude was making his 3rd career MLB start.
Yeah,
That's it.
he had like a 5 career ERA up until that point.
Yeah, he was making his 3rd start of the season.
And you have to bring Duran in on Sunday's game.
Yeah,
I mean, he gets the job done. So I mean, what we expect he gets the job done for, but he should not be coming into that game with that lead that we had. You should have Lazar coming out there to get those jobbers down 1-2-3.
What, for the game that he got hit in the foot?
For the Sunday's game.
For Sunday's game? I mean, yeah, but with the way that series had gone, don't you kind of feel like it may have been like, all right, let's just get Duran in there.
Yeah.
Close it out. We can be done with this and move.
Just get the quick 1-2-3.
Right. Just get it quick and easy, seamless. Plus, it had been a while before he actually.
Yeah, because he only threw like 1 pitch and then got the comebacker, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, he had 1 batter, and I think he threw 3 pitches to him. I think it was a 1-1 count.
Yeah, so he hadn't really pitched in like a couple of days up until that point.
Right. So they probably saw it as like, hey, here's a good opportunity for him to get some work in. Plus, it's not like we're up by like a blowout. If, let's say, like they brought in someone like Lazar or Joe Ross or something, and, he lets the first 2 guys get on base anyway, then you're going to have to get Duran up and warm and loose anyway for him to come in at some point, relieve whoever just gave up the first 2 guys to get on base. So I'm not entirely like disappointed with it or anything like that. I understand that, especially by the fact like he needed the pitch, like
you just cannot rest him forever.
Yeah, like you can't only throw him out there in save situations. You only get 35 to 40 save situations.
Yeah, you got to throw him out there in the 3-run game, 4-run game. Doesn't matter if it's a save situation or not.
You got to have him get his work in. Because like if you have him go 10 days without a save situation, then you throw him in there.
It's going to be sharp. Yeah, he's not going to be sharp.
He's going to be rusty. His arm might feel a little fatigued after throwing, 5 straight 102-mile-an-hour pitches.
Well, one thing I can say about Sunday's game that was a good thing is Alec Boehm had a pretty good first game back.
Yeah, Alec Boehm had a fantastic first game back. Had the 3-run home run.
The 3-run home run.
He had the nice, single in the 6th inning?
Yeah, he had a single and a 3-run home run. And then he had that error in the first, which allowed the Phillies to score a run.
But, I mean, as long as he's able to get his hits when they got runners on base, that's basically Alec Boehm's job for this team.
Yeah, he looked fine doing that on Sunday, so.
They're not going to expect him to come back and start mashing dingers, even though it was nice to see him have the 3-run homer. They want him to come back to stick him in the 5 or the 4 spot so that he can get hits.
Get on base and stuff.
Harper and Schwarber and Turner have all already gotten on base. So,
Nick Castellanos ain't getting on base.
Although he did have a a good game last night. I mean, everyone had a good game.
Everyone had a good game last night with that rout of the Mariners.
He's had a good 2 games in a row.
Even Ranger had a good game last night.
Yeah, Ranger looked fantastic.
Yeah, considering that up until that start on Monday night, he had a 6.59 ERA since the All-Star break. So
yeah, and he ended up going 6 2/3, 10 strikeouts, which matched the career high for him. I think he only gave up the 1 walk, and he had 2 earned runs.
Yeah, no, that was good from him. That's because that's what we need.
Yeah, that's what you need.
We need that vintage Ranger right there if we're not going to have Zach Wheeler.
If you're going to have Ranger pitching like that, then you just need Aaron Nola to step it up a little bit.
Exactly.
That's because Sanchez is going to be all right. But I will say this. I think Sanchez is only like 6 or 7 innings away from hitting his, most innings he's pitched in a season.
All right.
So
who knows if that's going to be dead arm?
Right. That's what who knows? Maybe at the end of August, Ranger and then Nola start coming alive. You just need him to be able to work through it up until the playoffs. Now, I'm not sure if you caught this. Tom's Deacon after the Wheeler injury update, he said that they still might do a 6-man rotation, even without Wheeler.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't see them calling up Andrew Painter really, unless they actually need the help, because we've obviously seen him struggle a lot in AAA, but.
Well, here's the one thing that I heard from Jason Stark. Starkfield Podcast. He also joins a couple of the local radio shows around here to talk, once a week. But Jason Stark said that they still might go to a 6-man rotation just to save the workload for Sanchez, Suarez, and Luzardo. It's less about them having a 6th starter for the 6th starter to go out there and win every day. It's more having a 6th starter to save innings from.
Yeah, so the 6th starters just need innings eater.
Right, essentially. So I don't know if that means that they're going to basically treat every 6th game as all right, well, we're punting today. We're just going to punt this
I don't think they're going to treat it like that. I mean,
hope not, but when he's sitting there saying they could call up Andrew Painter anyway.
There's a chance maybe they would do like a bullpen game. I mean, Joe Ross has started games before. If they really needed to actually for him to start games, yeah. But if you could rely on Joe Ross to start and go for 4 or 5 innings, then
if you could get some type of piggyback thing going, where it's maybe you have one of your better bullpen guys come in for the 1st inning or the 2nd inning, and then you're able to have Ross go 3, 4, 5. If he can get you those 3 innings, kind of that little, I don't want to say safe spot, because that's going to be most likely in the 3rd inning, you're going to be facing the bottom half of the lineup. Get your confidence with that 1st inning, turn it over to the 1st half of the lineup the next inning, and hopefully he'll be able to get through 3 or 4 just piggybacking off of someone else. Plus, you could potentially use Taijuan Walker in that same role as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're going to have to use Walker now in the rotation. I mean, his last couple of starts, man, he's pitched pretty good. I mean, he's getting the job done.
Walker's been pretty solid all year.
Yeah, last 3 starts actually have been pretty good. Scoreless 6 against the Orioles, and then he's got only 1 run against the Reds in 6 innings, and 6 2/3, only 2 runs. It just, those next 2 games between Washington and Cincinnati have no offense. What can you really do?
I feel like other than that one bullpen outing where he came in and gave up 3 or 4 runs, he's been really good all year.
Yeah, he's been good.
Yeah, so whether or not they have him coming out of the bullpen or in the starting rotation, he seems to be getting the job done for them, which, let's sit here and let's give Taijuan Walker a little bit of credit for that, because
everyone was trying to get Walker out of town at the season. Now he's coming in here and he's doing his job.
Yeah,
doing what's intended. So
for someone to come in here and do their job after having a 8 ERA last season.
Yeah, he had a terrible ERA last season.
Last year was awful, dude. But one thing I do want to touch on with the 6-man rotation is I don't think it's going to be Andrew Painter that gets brought up. I really don't. For the reason that his past couple of starts have not been very good.
Yeah, giving up a ton of runs.
Walks.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Yeah,
you have a ton of walks, and that's what happened with McAble.
Yeah.
And then that just drove him out of town.
But I do have another name. This is a guy that was potentially, people thought that you might bring him up last year. Had a bad year last year, couldn't find strike zone. Seems to be getting his stuff and his command back now, and that is Griff McGarry. You remember him?
Yeah, he's been having a couple. He's been having a couple of good starts so far.
The month of August, he's got a 1.8 ERA, 15 innings, and 27 strikeouts.
Yeah, no, he's been pitching pretty good so far.
So if you do want to potentially call someone up,
he's still in Reading though. Is the thing. Like if you're gonna bring him up from Reading to MLB right away, I mean, you gotta at least give him maybe a couple of starts in AAA.
Yeah, you would think you would at least have to get one in AAA.
Yeah, at least one in AAA.
But if they make some type of move where he gets promoted within the next 1 or 2 weeks, I think it's a very strong possibility.
Because it's really rare that you get a prospect that comes up from Double-A to the big leagues. I mean, that's only for that's most talented
hitters. I feel like
most hitters, yeah.
But pitchers, they want to see how you do against, because a lot of guys in AAA are people that have been in the big leagues before. You get a lot of the aging veterans who are still trying to hang around, like the Oscar Mercados, who's in the Phillies minor league system, and the Rodolfo Castros, and all those other guys who, they were up here for a couple of years,
didn't really make it, and then
went back down. So
it's just they'd probably see him first in AAA than in big league.
Yeah,
because even Paul Skeens pitched in AAA too, and they so well, and they're like, yeah, get his ass up here.
But I would anticipate if he gets promoted within the next week or two, that you'll probably see him up here during September call-ups. Now, whether or not he's going to be in the rotation or coming out of the bullpen, I guess remains to be seen. But I don't think that they would call him up here just to throw him in the bullpen. They would probably call him up to be the sixth man.
Yeah, he'd be the six-man starter. I don't think they use him as bullpen piece unless they have to, cut a bullpen arm. But then at the same time, I think they end up just recalling Max Lazar.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're just going to recall someone to pitch in the bullpen, you might as well recall a guy that's actually cut out for the bullpen and not a starting pitcher. So, if anything, if he does get called up, it'll probably be to make 3 starts maybe towards the end of the year.
Yeah, because he won't make a spot on the playoff roster unless he just absolutely dominates. But
I could see them, calling him up just to take the inning workload off a couple of the other guys. And the other reason why Jason Stark said that the sixth man is probably more likely than going with bullpen games is the fact that you're taxing your bullpen then at that point. You're already taxing your bullpen now by the fact that you don't have Wheeler to go 7 or 8 innings all the time now. You're going to have to use those guys probably 2 innings earlier on.
You have to rely on now pitchers to go deep, but I feel like some of these it's kind of rare. Like you're not gonna have Nola going pretty deep into starts unless he starts figuring his stuff out. Ranger, obviously, if he can't figure out his pitch limit or whatever. I mean, the only one I can trust to go over 7 or 8 innings is Chris. Even only Ranger only went 6 2/3.
Yeah, most of the time they're going to be taken out in the 6th inning, and if you're going to have 1, 2 plus Nola, 3 guys out of your 5 that are all getting taken out after 5 innings, basically, or after 6 1/3, that's really taxing your bullpen.
Well, at least we don't have a problem like the Mets where, we don't have to.
Guys and they all suck.
Yeah, where we don't have to rely on our starters to hopefully get through 6 innings. They got to pick this up, man. That bullpen is horrific.
And also, I just want to highlight, Jordan Romano had to come in last night to get one measly freaking out, and instead gives up a 3-run dinger. A guy that is 5'9", plays second base, and is a rookie who's hitting 250 right now.
That ball was crushed too.
That ball was crushed. They hit the upper facing. Of the
Yeah, no, that ball was crushed.
That was like Bryce Harper level of like where that ball
Freaking
went.
Bryce Harper hit 2 home runs into the second deck.
Yeah, so like the fact that little tiny Cole Young was able to sit there and blast one off Romano is not inspiring a whole ton of confidence for me with Romano getting any better at any point this year.
Absolutely not.
Because you look at his last 7 appearances, his ERA is a 12.46 over his last.
Oh yeah, he's
7
been
appearances.
just to put the cherry on top of him being ass all year. I mean, the game against the Reds, he had a grand slam, and then a couple of days later, giving up more runs. It's just like,
dude, you haven't pitched in 4 or 5 days. You can't come in and get one freaking out without giving up a run, dude.
Just another hanging slider, like crushed
Right down the middle.
right down the middle, because that's
that's
his signature. That is his signature right there.
Oh my! I mean, the other guy for the Mariners, Casey Legumina, he had a couple of meatballs that he threw too that got crushed. Like JT's got crushed.
I mean, well, at least they didn't have to use any of their high leverage relievers in that situation. With
Well, I could tell.
let go with some
Phillies
meatballs.
Were going to win that game when, you know how the Mariners started to come back a little bit. They got the 4 runs.
Yeah,
Romano, and then they left Legumina in there. Like he had pitched the previous inning, and they left.
so that's basically throwing in the white flag.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, he was in there for another inning. I was like, "Are the Mariners even trying to win this game anymore?" Like it looks like they've given up already. Like it's not like Casey Legumina is, fantastic.
I was gonna say, yeah, it doesn't seem like
he's a rookie. He's got maybe 20 innings under his belt.
he's not gonna be like your Andres Munoz type caliber.
Exactly. And when they didn't make a move to get him out of the game, I kind of saw that as like, all right, the Mariners are basically just giving this game up. They had a long night the night before at Williamsport.
Oh yeah, they did have Will.
They had to leave late at night. They probably got in at like 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning maybe. Probably like sleptwalk through practice. They were probably just like, you know what? We're already down.
And they got their
Let's just get out.
They got their ass kicked at Williamsport.
Yeah. So
At least Cal Raleigh hit a home run for the kids to see.
And I feel like you're definitely going to I was expecting him to hit a home run last night once the game got out of hand, because I was like, the Phillies aren't probably going to use any of the good relievers. They're going to throw out some guy who's probably going to give up like 5 or 6 runs and make this game interesting again. And that just never happened. Like
They threw out Nolan Hoffman.
Yeah, exactly. But like I was waiting for the Mariners to make it a game again, and it just never happened.
Never happened,
Like,
yeah.
They just never made it.
Because you knew they would have been getting Duran up.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm expecting that tonight the game is going to be a little bit more competitive. I really think the circumstances of the late travel, especially because, Williamsport, there's no airport out there.
Yeah, there's no airport in Williamsport unless they go to like an airport. Maybe they fly to Pittsburgh or whatever, but even still, that's still a long drive.
That's still like an hour and a half bus trip up to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
To now take another hour,
Unless there's like
who knows, the plane gets delayed and all that other shit.
unless there's like a private airfield that the Mariners were like, yo, can we go here so we can fly to Philadelphia?
And I mean, there could be some type of private airstrip that's somewhere out there. I'm not really too familiar with that area of Pennsylvania. I've been to Williamsport twice, but I was like 11, 12-year-old kid that was not playing. I was just going to like see the Little League World Series. So it's not like I was really like going around the area or anything like that. I was just at the Little League World Series complex the entire time. But with them having that, like, if you've never taken that car ride, it's like almost a 5-hour car ride.
Yeah,
Philly to Williamsport.
because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's up there,
And that's a long ride on a bus.
and no one's gonna sit there on a bus for that long.
Yeah, exactly. That's a long bus ride to get into your destination at 2, 3 in the morning. Because that game in Williamsport wasn't over till what, 11:30?
Yeah, because they had the rain delay.
Right. So you got to think they probably didn't even leave Williamsport until what, midnight, 12:30? And then you got
Probably even
4-hour
longer.
drive. So they got in at what, 6 a.m.?
Probably even longer. Yeah, they probably got in super late.
They
So
probably got like no sleep,
Mhm.
which is probably why they looked so poor yesterday. Look, I don't know about you, but I don't think I could go and give a good performance on like 4 hours.
That's probably why Phillies were so poor on Thursday, because their flight got
same thing.
delayed from Cincinnati. So
Plus, they had that delay in that game in Cincinnati too, didn't they?
they did.
They had the delay, which had to push it back, and then they didn't want to give up the travel off day, so they just let it ride out, and they played late. So it's probably going to be a more even contest tonight.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
And I wouldn't expect it to be as high scoring tonight either. Like, I don't think it's going to be another 12-7 or like a,
Yeah, Bryce Miller comes back tonight for the Mariners, and
this will probably be like a 5-3 game.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. Unless like the bullpens just completely falter, but
well, neither bullpen used any of their good arms last night. So
exactly. All the good bullpen arms, Munoz, Duran, all of them are still there. Spire.
Right, they should be available. So
and one thing about the Williamsport game, so if you watched it on ESPN and they had the commissioner on the TV.
Broadcasting so much, the ESPN baseball crew.
The contract runs out at the end of the year, so if they don't renew the contract, then
I would be fine with it staying on ESPN. I just don't like the announcers. Like, I don't like Carl Ravish. I think that dude is just a complete fucking like, oh my God, look, everything's so wonderful. This guy is so great. That guy is so great. This guy over here, he's fantastic. It's like,
I mean, they're getting paid to, glaze the players, so.
I know. But like, that game that I was watching, Clay Holmes got through the first inning, right? The start of the second inning comes around. Carl Ravage goes, oh, wow, looks like Clay Holmes has really settled in.
It's the second inning.
The guy has gotten 3 freaking outs.
It's
bro.
the second.
What are you talking about?
What are they worried about Mets pitchers not only going 1 inning now, that they have to they settled in the second inning? Oh my goodness!
I heard Carl Ravage say that, and I was like, "Did you really just say he's settled in after he's gotten 3 outs and thrown a total of 13?"
That's hilarious.
You don't say that someone has settled in up until they've gotten a little bit of a...
Yeah, no, you don't say it's like the 5th or 6th inning.
Get out of it. Then you can sit there and go, oh, wow, he had a little bit of a rough start. He's settling in now. That'll happen when, let's say, they give up 1 or 2 runs in the first inning, and then they go the next 4 of like 1, 2, 3 innings, or the next 4 shutout innings.
Yeah,
then you can sit
that's what you say.
Pitcher is settled in. You don't say that after he's thrown 15 freaking pitches.
All right, so with ESPN, they had the commissioner on the TV, and they were talking about the ESPN contract or whatever, and one thing that he's under fire for is, I don't know if you've heard this, but the realignment.
Yeah, the realignment.
The realignment, which
is awful.
I agree.
It is absolutely awful.
What kind? So it'll be like the NFL. You have 4 divisions. 4 divisions per league, like the NFL, with 8 teams, 8 divisions, 2 leagues.
I'm up for
4 division.
Just don't make it so that it's like, did you see the proposed Phillies division?
Yeah, no, that's a terrible division.
The Phillies, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Mets. You do realize all 4 of those teams probably have the greatest market of fans possible. You want to eliminate 3 of them from the playoffs every year?
Yeah, no, those are 4 playoff teams in one, and what?
And then you're gonna have a division of what? The Pirates, the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Cubs, or something?
Yeah, the proposed Central Division is the Pirates, the Orioles, Washington, and Charlotte as an expansion team.
And why is that central? The only central team there is Pittsburgh. Everything else is on the eastern coast.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be like the National League North or whatever they call it. And then you have like some of the divisions with the Cubs and the White Sox, the Cardinals, and like Cleveland. It was just like
I would be up for league realignment if they were to actually make sense logistically while still honoring the tradition of the American and the National League.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because
you want to do league realignment and throw Pittsburgh out of the Central and put them in the East so that they can play with the rest of the Eastern Conference teams.
They got to make these divisions more fair. Like this division with the Phillies, Mets, Red Sox, and Yankees is not fair. I mean, you have 4 potential playoff teams in one division.
You got all teams right there that easily spend over $200 million on their rosters every year.
Yeah.
Those 4 teams. Easily.
All of those teams are going to finish over 500, and 3 of them aren't going to make the playoffs. You're going to have a division with the Pirates, Orioles, and Washington. The division winner is going to be 70 and 92.
And you do realize that that division winner is going to have a division winner that probably spends a total of like $86 million on freaking roster.
And they're going
to get bounced without even a shot in the first round.
They get to host a playoff game. They're going to lose, 10-0 in the first one, and then 10-0 in the second one. It's not a good concept. I mean, if I would put the Pirates and Phillies maybe in the same division or switch something around, but because
the other thing that pisses me off when Manfred said this, right? When the idea of expansion got brought up in the last CBA, right? So the last CBA was what, 2020?
Yeah, 2021 because we had that lockout.
2021. And he nixed expansion at that point. Do you want to know why he nixed expansion? Because he said that there were teams like the Rays and Oakland Athletics that don't spend enough money to field a competitive roster. And so all you're doing is creating 2 more teams when not all of your teams already in the league are competitive. How is this league realignment going to make competition, going to make everyone more competitive? It doesn't make any sense.
It's not even like it's not even like their fault. Like the Rays and Oakland, like their owners are terrible. They don't spend any money.
Yeah.
They play in shitty stadiums. Well, they used to. Now they both play in minor league stadiums. But I mean, the Rays have had some talent. I mean, at least the Rays have like shown that that they can make the playoffs. They don't spend money, but they develop some pretty good players to the point where it's like
good player development. They got good recruitment. They seem to have a good job.
Well, the Rays' highest contract is fucking Wander Franco.
Yeah, who's literally suspended from the league. Right
yeah, that's his fault for touching children.
And he's probably never going to be reinstated.
Yeah, no.
He's never coming back.
He might play in like Mexican League.
Yeah,
but
like Korea or something like that.
Yeah, but he will never play in baseball. Mm-hmm. And then you have the Oakland, just Athletics, whose highest contract is fucking Luis Severino. Mm-hmm. Some washed up bum who complained about playing in his own stadium, saying it was a spring training stadium. Like, you signed the contract, you knew the consequences of coming to the stadium. Exactly. Then it's just stupid.
And also, I just want to say, with this whole Manfred idea of, I don't want to add teams because it's not going to competition, it's going to dilute the competition and all that stuff, right? You do realize you have the Yankees. I mean, you do realize you have the Mets and the Phillies, both teams that spend over $180 to $200 million on the roster per season. In the same division with the Miami Marlins, who I looked it up, the totality of all they spend for not only their players, but also for their coaching staff and for all the other parts of their organization is $86 million.
Yeah, because the Marlins are cheap. They have a bad owner.
They don't even spend $100 million.
It's the only reason that I want the salary floors, because they should make it just $100 million. You're forced to spend $100 million on a damn player, man.
How are you supposed to compete when you literally won't put up the money to compete?
Exactly. You need the money to compete.
If you're not going to put forth the money to field a competitive roster, then what are we doing?
Because, I mean,
expanding the league and adding more teams to a league that's already not competitive.
And we've shown that, like, the Marlins think that they can build talent or whatever. And then either they build talent or they trade the talent that they've grown, or they never succeed.
Is they build the talent, but they're only able to build 2 or 3 good players. And then the rest of the team is not that good, so they end up having to sell those 2 to 3 good players.
Yeah,
to restart again.
Restart again,
like with never worked for them.
with Jazz and
I mean, we sent them a decent amount of prospects for JT.
Yeah, I mean, Sixto Sanchez just never worked out. What, he was the number, 19 prospect in baseball during that time of the trade, and he just never worked out.
I mean, remember, they got a decent amount of prospects for the Christian Yelich trade. They got a decent amount of prospects for the Giancarlo Stanton trade.
Yeah, they got a
Never able to do anything.
They got a great haul for that Christian Yelich trade. They got, I think 3 top 100 prospects, and none of them turned out.
Exactly. They weren't able to do shit. That's my whole thing. If you're going to sit here and tell me that you can't expand the league a couple of years ago because there's too many uncompetitive teams, what has changed from that point? I feel like there's more if there's more teams that aren't competitive now than there were 7 years ago.
They need to make the salary floor, and they have to make it so you have to spend at least 100 on free agents and no extensions. Because if the Marlins can be cheap and just be like, oh, we'll just
extend.
Kyle Stowers is good. Let's extend him for $100 million.
Right. Let's give him, a contract of 7 years at, fucking $200 million. Then all of a sudden our salary raised by $15 million. For this season.
You gotta sign at least free agents. Sign a couple, so it makes it at least somewhat more competitive. Even if they don't pan out, you're still spending the required amount of money, and then
and it's also
you get penalized if you don't. So,
you have to think of, is signing this free agent going to give my team a better chance to win baseball games and to put more fans in the seats? 100,000% yes. Players, when they go to a new team, they always have the fan base get excited for the new player.
Oh, 100%.
There's a case where that doesn't happen.
Bryce Harper signed here, there were people...
We were excited for Max Kepler this year.
There were people running to the ticket offices at Citizens Bank Park minutes after he signed to buy tickets for opening day.
And that is how quickly stuff can turn. You can have a bad team, but yet you sign one big free agent. All of a sudden, you're putting fans in the seats. You're making more money out of the fact that people are now coming to your games. They're spending money on concessions.
Imagine the Marlins made a move saying that they signed Tarek Skubal. Imagine a Cy Young pitcher coming to Miami and revitalizing this team. That'll get fans in the stadium.
Yeah, you don't think that would get an extra 5,000 fans per game?
Exactly, yeah.
100,000% there would be.
Even just baseball fans in general.
Yeah. Whether or not you're sitting there and you're a fan of Miami or you're a fan of Tampa Bay, if you got Tarek Skubal maybe 45 minutes away from you and you're not a Miami Marlins fan, what's to stop you from just going to see Tarek Skubal?
Exactly. Just watch baseball.
Right. Or if the Miami Marlins were to sign someone like Kyle Schwarber that's going to hit them 45 home runs in a season, home runs put people in the seats.
Exactly.
Sign someone like that, and guess what? You can start getting people to freaking come to your games. Once you get people to come to your games, you can actually sign more players because you'll have more money to go around. But you have to make that initial investment of bringing a guy in that's going to fill the seats in order for you to make that next step. So many teams are too afraid to even make the first step of let's bring in that big name.
Yeah, everyone is scared because they wonder if it's not going to help them with their season, but it's going to get fans into the stadium.
Exactly. If you are the Miami Marlins and you have perpetual games where you've got 3,000 to 7,000 fans in your stadium that's supposed to seat over 40,000, you're not going to do anything to try to at least fill up half of
Yeah, you got to do something at least. You got to get some players in. You got to do something with the promotions too.
And think about it. If you're a child in Miami and you're watching a Major League Baseball game on TV and you see the stands are completely empty, what's that little kid going to think?
And they suck?
They suck. Why am I watching this?
Exactly.
No one else is spending money to go watch them there. Why am I wasting my free time?
But if they did
watching them here?
If they did something with a promotion where they gave out a free jersey, a free authentic jersey. This is to every fan in the stadium. Yeah, that'll get people in there.
I mean, I don't know if they've already tried to do that.
I don't know what I don't know what their promotions are, but
I know that the Phillies run a shit ton of promotions during the season.
Yeah, they got
all those games get sold out.
Jerseys, shirts, yeah, the bobbleheads go crazy.
Yeah, jerseys, bobblehead shirts. Like you even got like towels, the Schwarbomb towel.
Yeah,
that you can get for going down
the
shore.
Bryce Harper Funko Pop.
Right, the PGW hats, or all the different stuff that they give away.
People,
the backpacks.
yeah, people go nuts over them promotions.
Yeah, and those games that have promotions, they all sell out.
They all sell out, yeah.
Every single one of them.
Like, there's people that wait outside since the morning for a Shohei Ohtani bobblehead, which is crazy.
I mean,
for like a Tuesday game at 7:00.
You got people in this town that have already signed up for their season ticket plans for next season, for 2026.
Yeah.
Miami probably has about 10 guys that have signed up for their season ticket.
Probably. Or maybe corporations.
Like, it's just insane to me that you can have professional teams with such barren and empty stadiums and not have the league do something about it. Like, if you were Major League Baseball and you have Miami on a marquee night or something like that, where there's a game in Miami and there's only 5,000 people showing up to your stadium, you're not going to go to the Miami Marlins and be like, yo, what the hell is going on here? How come there's no one coming to see your team?
Dude, it's ridiculous. Like
at some point, I feel like Major League Baseball has to step in and be like, all right, something needs to change here. You can't just continue to let these teams run around with awful management and awful money spending habits.
The Marlins, they only sell out when they play teams like the Yankees, because the Yankees driving all those fans. That's about it.
And people who have been Miami Marlins fans for the past 10 years, you don't think that some of them have stopped following baseball because of how awful the team has been? And they're probably never going to get those fans back ever again.
Even when they made the playoffs in 2 years ago, I mean, that stadium did not look filled.
No.
And they made
no one believed in the team.
Yeah, and they made the freaking playoffs.
Like if you actually were to do something to make your fans, and even when Miami went to the playoffs, did the players even believe in themselves?
I have no clue.
Because how can you believe in yourself if you're a playoff team and you have less than 10,000 people coming
and
to see you?
You're coming into that hostile ass environment of Philadelphia.
Yeah, you're a playoff team. You are a good team. You should have fans watching you because you're good, and yet you still don't. That is an issue. That is a major issue.
I mean, they get a lot of fans from the Heat and the Dolphins, but they actually produce talent. So,
yeah. And plus, the Heat and the Dolphins are actually, I mean, football-wise, maybe not, but the Heat are usually pretty good.
Yeah, the Heat usually make the playoffs every year. I mean, they made the finals just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and they have no problem filling that stadium.
And they made the finals as a fucking 8 seed.
I mean, no NFL team is ever going to have problems filling their stadium because everyone loves the NFL.
Everyone goes to NFL games.
Only 8 home games a year.
Unless you're like a Giants fan who barely gets the stadium filled. So,
I mean, that stadium still gets people in there. It's just that
it gets people in there. Yeah, they're not Giants fans.
Not Giants fans. Mm-hmm. But people NFL is never going to have a problem selling tickets. You know, NFL is always going to be the hottest show in town. It's always going to be the most expensive ticket you can find. I mean, there were tickets for the Philadelphia preseason game where if you wanted to sit on close to you were paying $500-$600.
Jesus, it's a preseason game, man. You pay that type of money to go see the Cowboys week 1.
Dude, the average ticket price on secondary market, on resale market for Eagles games this year so far is around $500 per ticket.
God damn, man.
The average price.
That's the average price.
And people pay that without even thinking.
Yeah, that's crazy. Unless you're getting them from a corporation or something, but
dude, but yet you think it's not like there's ever any sideline seats that are open. People pay it.
No, people do pay it.
People pay it because the Eagles put out a good
product. Yeah, they put out a good product. Every single Sunday, you can expect watching the Eagles play good football and win.
I would not spend that money, though, if I didn't have the utmost confidence that what I was going to see was worth the money I'm spending.
If I'm paying $12,000 to watch Jalen Hurts, yeah. If I'm paying $12,000 to watch Daniel Jones.
Exactly. That's my point. You got to be able to put something on the field to get these people interested to come out to the stadium. You can't just make all your money through TV broadcasting deals or through TV broadcasting rights and all that stuff. Like, you have to get the actual people in your community to get excited about your team. When no one in the community is excited about your team and you've been there for 20 plus years, that is a huge problem, to the point where Miami might not be there in 10 years.
They might either relocate or whatever.
Same with Tampa Bay.
They might relocate to a team that actually has fans.
The problem with Tampa Bay isn't the fan base, because the fan base actually will go out and support Tampa Bay.
The fan base is good because they can put a good team out. It's just their
stadium isn't very good.
Their stadium is trash,
and they've been trying to get a new stadium for like 10 years.
They want to actually put a stadium in Tampa instead of St. Petersburg.
Right. And I don't blame them for that. I mean, yeah, if I was a Tampa Bay-based team, why would I want my stadium freaking 45 minutes away in St. Petersburg?
Exactly.
On the other side of the panhandle. I would want them to actually be on my side of the bay and not the ocean side.
But they said they're keeping with the Tropicana feel, and I was like, what's the point of that? It doesn't make any sense. The Buccaneers are in Tampa.
They tried to like renovate it and rebrand it and all that stuff when they changed from the Devil Rays to the Rays. And that worked for like the first 2 or 3 years, and then it fell off.
Yeah, they became mediocre, and then what comes next is a hurricane.
Yeah, which, destroyed the entire roof of the stadium, which that is a little bit of bad luck, I feel like.
Well, that roof is made out of like duct tape and paper, so.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be made to withstand like high amounts of wind. I don't know if it was made to withstand heavy amounts of like water.
Well, I can't stand that. It's like, it reminds me of the Metrodome when
that
collapsed open. Yeah,
that was when Adrian Peterson was still.
Yeah, no, that was a while ago. Yeah,
and then didn't Buffalo just have something like that happen last year?
I think
snow collapsed on their roof.
Yeah,
play a couple of games away so they could repair it.
Something like that, yeah. And then I think the Rams had to play in Arizona for their playoff game because of the fires. Mm-hmm.
Like, some of that can just be chalked up to some shitty luck and just some bad timing.
Yeah,
but like, when you're trying to fill your stadium and you can't fill your stadium and you're asking for a new one, why would they give you a new stadium if you can't fill the one?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to afford players. Why would they be able to afford a stadium?
Exactly. Like, if I was the city of Tampa Bay, there's no way I would give the Rays a new stadium because they can't get half of the people into the stadium they currently have.
And they only get like a good crowd in the current stadium that they have because it's a minor league stadium.
Like, so
of course it's easy to sell at a minor league stadium when there's only 10,000 seats compared to a regular stadium with 40,000 seats.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, the athletic games look like they get a good amount of attendance, but that's because they're selling probably 3,500 seats out of a ballpark that seats 7,000.
And they're also in a minor league ballpark. They have a grass berm. People from Sacramento get to watch baseball probably at a cheap price.
Like, dude, probably more people showed up to watch the Little League Classic than people that show up on a nightly basis to watch the Miami Marlins.
Probably, yeah. Even though that stadium doesn't fit much and like half of the audience is children.
Like, I looked it up. The Crosscutter Stadium, which is where
which is where the game is played,
only has an attendance of about 3,000 seats. That's it.
Yeah, and they probably only got about 3,000 or more, maybe.
But I mean, seats were filled. There were people standing out in the outfield. You could see like houses across the street.
Yeah, there's houses across the street.
Like, you can from the houses across the street. There were probably more eyes like live on that game there than all the entirety of the fans that watch Miami Marlins in an entire 160.
Probably, yeah. Plus, you got it on ESPN too, which is obviously attracting more viewers.
Yeah, but that's egregious. That one game could sit there and produce more fans than an entire team's season.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. The Marlins are pathetic.
Like, that is absolutely pathetic. You just had someone get inducted into the Hall of Fame 2 months ago that before you made them a contract, they didn't even know your team existed.
That is what Ichiro said.
Ichiro said, Miami Marlins, is that a baseball team? Who are they?
And he's probably played them multiple times before. You would think he would have known the Marlins,
And
but
yet there was nothing memorable enough about those interactions to make him go, yeah, Miami Marlins baseball team. Like, it's just
it's so sad. I would be, if I was a fan, I'd be so embarrassed.
like, I couldn't imagine what it would be like. Could you imagine being the executive that offered Ichiro Suzuki the contract and he asked, who the hell are you?
Yeah, like, that's bad, man.
That is embarrassing.
That's terrible.
That is embarrassing. He didn't know that you were a baseball team and he competes in your freaking league.
that is so pathetic, man.
So
it's just it's so frustrating for Marlins fans that they have to deal with a shitty owner, and
yeah. So before we hear anything,
it's never gonna get any good anytime soon for them.
Before we hear anything about league realignment, can we please fix the problems with the few teams that have the problems of not being able to fill a single goddamn seat?
Yeah, they got to make these divisions more balanced, because obviously a division with the Phillies, Red Sox, Mets, and Yankees ain't going anywhere.
Dude, the thing about that is you're eliminating at least two of those teams from the playoffs every year. And you do realize that all of the fans for those teams want to see that team in the playoffs.
And they're spending all that money to not make the playoffs.
Exactly. You expect that the Mets are going to pay $210 million in luxury tax and all that shit to potentially come in last place in their division?
Yeah.
No team would do that. Like, this is so stupid on so many levels, this league realignment. You have to at least keep the National League and the American League in their respective leagues how they are.
If you have to tweak the divisions, tweak the divisions.
Like, when the NFL did it, we made the comparison to the divisions and the leagues in the NFL. At least they still have the AFC and NFC. It's not just Eastern Conference and Western Conference.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That would mean there would be no Eagles-Dallas Cowboys matchup.
Yeah, because the Dallas would be in the Western Conference.
Right. There would be no matchup like that throughout the season. You don't think that the NFL makes a shit ton of money on those games?
Yeah, 100%.
Every year, they make a shit ton of money on Eagles.
Because people still bitch about how the Cowboys are America's team.
Yeah. And, like, if you have that happen with part of the intrigue for the New York Subway Series between the Mets and the Yankees is because it doesn't happen all the time.
It doesn't. They're not.
If you make that happen 17 times a season, it's going to lose the thing that made it great.
They're not division rivals. They're interleague rivals.
Right,
division rivals are the Mets and the Braves.
Exactly. Like, you don't see the Giants and the Jets playing against each other.
Never.
Stupid.
What? The Battle of New Jersey? Like, doesn't make any sense.
Plus, no one from outside of that area cares. No one from outside that little pocket from like Elizabeth, New Jersey to Newark and Jersey City, outside that little triangle, no one cares.
Because they both suck.
Yes. And guess what? People outside of Queens and Manhattan or the Bronx for the Mets and the Yankees, no one cares about the Subway Series. Do you care about the Subway Series when the Mets and the Yankees play each other? Do you clear your schedule to be like, oh,
no, I'm not. I'm not watching rivals play, like,
exactly.
Unless it's the only game on, then.
But here's the other, you probably would make more of an effort to watch the Yankees and Red Sox, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because they're always on national television, and
watch the Dodgers and Padres.
They're division rivals, like.
Or to watch the Phillies against the Braves, like actual rivalries, not stuff that's been fabricated by the fact of, oh, well, now since we have to play each other,
and then that rivalry weekend with the Phillies and Pirates. What kind of rival is that?
Exactly.
I didn't know.
You can't have the rival be a team that you play 2 series.
Yeah, you play 2 series against the Pirates a year. That's it. That's not a rival. It's someone that's in the state, but not in the division. If the Pirates were in the division, it would have made sense. But
and also, if you're gonna expand the league, why don't you just Charlotte? You can go to the National League South. You know, like you can be in the South Division. And what was the other team proposed? Portland?
Yeah, Portland.
You can be in the division that has the Astros, the Mariners, the Rangers, and the Angels.
That's fine. There.
What is so hard about just doing that? Why do you need to sit there and change every single team and how they play and where they play.
I don't know why it needs to be so even. It doesn't.
Like, why do you need to change everything just to add 2 new teams? It's not like you're adding 16. It's not like you're adding a whole nother league. You're adding 2.
You're adding 2.
Teams.
It's not like, yeah.
Like, it's 2 teams. One on the East, one on the West, and then you can keep everything respective how it is. What's so freaking hard about that?
It's such an idiotic move. I swear to God.
Plus, you already have it set up that way. Charlotte on the East, Portland on the West.
Exactly, it makes sense.
Do all of this realignment bull.
I don't think it'll happen because he's going under major criticism for it.
I don't think it would happen just because I don't know if you would be able to convince all the owners to do that.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't think you'd be able to convince.
Because what if the expansion team sucks and they can't fill a stadium?
Exactly. Then what do you do?
Then what do you do now?
And especially because you've got teams that already suck that can't fill their stadiums that are probably going to have to move. Like so the other teams proposed for expansion is like Nashville, which will probably get a team by one of the other.
Nashville's not bad.
Like Miami will probably end up moving to Nashville, or Tampa will end up moving to Nashville. Like one of those 2 teams will end up going there. The other will probably end up going to Montreal.
Yeah, get a return of the Expos.
Right. So if that's the case, that is still 1 team on the East and 1 team on the West.
Exactly.
What is the issue here?
There's no issue.
Why do we need to realign and ruin the history of baseball and the rivalries that make this game so freaking great?
Because money. It's what it's all about now. Money.
Like, it's ridiculous, dude. There's a reason why the Cowboys play in the NFC East, even though they aren't on the East Coast, and that's because of the rivalry between the Cowboys and all the other teams that were here in the East. Could you imagine if they did realignment for the NFL and they took the Cowboys out of the division? Everyone else in the division, including the Cowboys, would be all up in arms, being like, what the hell are you doing this for?
There's no there's no Cowboys-Texans rivalry.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? That would be so asinine. Like, I don't really think that the Houston Texans fans and the Dallas Cowboy fans are going to sit there and get some fake hatred towards each other just because you were to take Dallas out of their division and put them in the same division.
Such a stupid fucking idea.
It's ridiculously stupid, and it completely ignores the history of this game and what has made people gravitate towards it for so long. And that is the history of the teams with bad blood. The Yankees and Red Sox have hated each other ever since Babe Ruth left Boston and went to the Yankees.
Over 100 years.
Yeah, that's 100 years of history right there. You're going to freaking flush it all down the drain for Charlotte? For Charlotte, North Carolina.
So what are they doing? It's all about the money. They don't care about fans. They only care about money.
Exactly. It's ridiculous to me, dude. But let's move on to the Eagles before I blow this microphone out by the fact that I'm getting heated now.
All right, so we could talk about this John Mechie trade. They got him in a 6th.
Very surprising.
For tight end Harrison Bryant in a 5th, so
I was very surprised.
I was surprised when they traded for another wide receiver.
Yeah, especially
I was like,
wide receiver, you don't need another one of those.
It's like now you have 6 wide receivers and you have 3 competing for the number 3 spot. It's like, okay, so that was a little bit of competition.
Now, one thing that's nice is, John Mechie is a nice story. Diagnosed with leukemia.
Came back from leukemia.
Had to come back. Had a pretty relative success. I want to say relative success because it's not like he was trash or anything like that.
No, he's just he was a 3rd-string wide receiver on the Texans. So, obviously you have Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. It's going to be hard to get consistent reps in.
And then you might have someone else even ahead of John Mechie on the roster right now in Houston because I don't really know what they're... I mean, you got Tank Dell.
Dell, yeah, but he's still coming back from injury.
Who else? Didn't they have someone else last year? Did they have Rondale Moore last year?
I think so.
But I think he's hurt again, too. So. But still, he was probably buried on their depth chart.
Yeah, so they just probably figured, we could use a tight end, so.
Right, and Harrison Bryant was buried on our depth chart. I mean, he wasn't going to get playing time over either Dallas or Grand Calcaterra. And they still have the other tight end that they signed in the offseason from, I want to say Indianapolis.
What, Dalton Schultz? No, because Dalton Schultz has been on there. I don't know who their other tight end is, but...
They signed another tight end that I'm blanking on who his name is.
I don't know who it is, but...
But I know that they had 4 tight ends, coming into camp. and you're not going to keep all 4 of them,
Obviously.
You were going to have to cut one. It probably would have ended up being Harrison Bryant. So they were like, "Hey, we can actually
you could get a pick and a player from him." So, and he also played with Devontae Smith, so that's a little nice touch.
He was with Alabama, I think, as a 2-year starter. I think he started.
Yeah, he started 1 year with Devontae, and then after that.
So he's got a little bit of rapport there. You got to think he's probably got a little bit of rapport with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I would assume so.
It's not, incredibly like.
This doesn't move the needle as much, but
it's not something that's going to make headlines, or it's not like he's going to overtake Jahan Dotson for the 3rd wide receiver on this team.
Oh, you could use him on special teams, or
potentially
if Dotson gets injured, he comes in.
And plus, it just gives you a little bit more depth where, A.J. Brown hasn't practiced in 3 weeks almost?
Yeah, A.J. Brown's still coming back from that hamstring.
Exactly. I don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1. I would anticipate he'll probably be fine week 1, but if he's dealing with a hamstring now, it's probably going to flare up again at some point during the season, you would expect.
So then you can bring in Mechie probably.
Right, so this way, whenever A.J. Brown does happen to have that little tweak to his hamstring, because I'm sure that'll happen at some point during the season, instead of there being this huge drop-off because it's now Smith, Jahan Dotson, and Johnny Wilson, it'll now be Smith, Dotson, and Mechie, which is probably a little bit better than Johnny Wilson. And speaking of Johnny Wilson, carted off the field today in practice. So who knows if he's
who knows if he's coming out. But Anais Smith has looked pretty good so far in the 2 preseason games with 2 touchdowns.
He's looked pretty good.
Also, though, Andrew Makuba with a pick 6, so that's what you like to see.
Plus, he played that play really well.
He did, yeah.
He saw that play early. He stepped in front of the wide receiver. It was a bad throw by Dylan Gabriel, but he undercut that route. He recognized the fact that the wide receiver was going to be cutting across the field. So instead of him sticking with it, he cut in front of the wide receiver, makes the interception, runs it to the house. Fantastic play. Also shows how good his football IQ is at being able to process, especially as a rookie, making his first start anywhere, let alone regular season, preseason, guys just coming back from injury. First time he's been in a game the entire, preseason, and on the first series, he gets a interception. On the next series, he gets a fumble recovery. There's the
he was really good with that fumble and the interception too. So that safety job is going to be really important now with him and Sidney Brown. It's just got to worry about his injuries, because if he's getting injured, then obviously you don't want that to happen. If he's going to be,
and that's one of the things
key for you.
We highlighted too when they first drafted him. One of the things we said was we're a little skeptical about whether or not he's going to be able to stay on the field for all 16 games or 17 games now, because it's only 180 pounds.
And look at that. He's been missing a couple practices.
Right. I'm 165. You're telling me that this dude is only 20 pounds heavier than me and is supposed to be hitting, hits all the time?
Yeah, he's quick, but he can't be laying out those big hits. He's got to use his versatility.
And I think we even said there are times where he's probably going to lay out those big hits and his body can't take it. He's going to hurt himself.
Yeah, imagine if you lay out and you dive in a funny way and then boom, there's an Achilles, there's an ACL. Yeah, but what if you mess up your leg on a dive? There's an Achilles, an ACL. What if you mess up your shoulder?
How many times in the NFL do we see some guy drop the shoulder to lay a big hit?
A lot.
If you have a shoulder issue already and you're going to drop your shoulder to make a big hit, there's you could injure yourself.
Exactly.
So that's one of the only things with him is just maybe I do anticipate he's going to start, but I don't think he's going to be on the field for 80% of the snaps.
No, it'll mostly be him and Sidney Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to flip flop.
That cornerback job is still open too. That goes into the final preseason game, which is Friday at the Jets.
Now I heard on the radio, I forget who I heard this from. It may have been Tim McManus, who said Adoree Jackson has been getting the bulk of the snaps with the first team, but he does believe that the best cornerback to play opposite Quinion Mitchell right now.
Keeler Ringo?
No.
Oh, Jacorian Bennett. All right.
He said that the guy that he thinks has been, able to show the most with the little time that he's had has been Jacorian Bennett. So that'll be something to maybe look out for.
But if you see that Adoree Jackson's getting most of the bulk reps, it's probably going to be him.
Or it could go the adverse way.
Yeah.
If you see he's getting the bulk of the reps in week 3 and Jacorian Bennett's not on the field, does that mean Jacorian Bennett's not on the field because he's starting?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
That's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to see and wait until, Friday's game. All right, guys, hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully the Phillies can pick up their slide because this offense is not looking that good. Yeah, I get it. They scored 11 and 12, but, it's the Phillies offense, so.
It's just the inconsistency.
Yeah.
That the inconsistency is going to come back to really, really hurt this team.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not able to find a little bit of just common ground that they can be on the entirety of the time for the rest of the season, they're going to have a bit of a struggle, especially with the uncertainty of Wheeler.
Yeah, exactly. So
and if we're being honest, I honestly wouldn't expect him back.
I don't see him back until the postseason.
Even then, I don't know if he's coming back because with that surgery, if they had to cut into a muscle or something like that.
Yeah, how long is that going to take to repair? A long time.
Yeah, so there's the potential that if they miraculously make it to the World Series, he could maybe pitch in November for the World Series.
But who knows if they go that far? Exactly. So
and then, do you really want to be rushing him back to get him back in October when you only have 2 years left of him anyway?
Yeah. So it's just going to be a who knows what scenario, and after that, the Eagles got to fix their line, and that's about it. So get us wherever you get your podcasts, and
Apple Music,
yes,
Spotify,
sir,
YouTube.
yes, sir, and we'll see you guys.